I am Jamie, and welcome to Sci-Fi Vision for April 29th for, I guess, Demogorgon Diaries again, since we're doing Stranger Things Tales from 85 today. We're going to talk about all 10 episodes, not super in-depth for each one, or we'll be here all night, but an overall kind of review and, discussion. But thank you, everybody. If you're here, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to Sci-Fi Vision, hype if you can. In fact, better yet, if you have hype points, use them for either one of the interviews. That would actually help out a lot more. If you missed either of our From interviews, you can get them from the live tab, Nathan Simmons and Samantha Brown, that we did in the past 2 days. But you can also see our other interviews via the video tab. All right. Well, what did you guys think of this new version of Stranger Things?
Karen.
So this is not, we don't usually do like a number rating for shows, but I would say if I was going to rate it, I'd give it like a 7, 6 or 7, a 7 maybe out of 10. I think it was cute. It was fun. I enjoyed the animation. I was surprised. I was expecting like that the animation would also be 80s style, like a more Scooby-Doo look to it, and I wasn't expecting that it would be a more modern type of animation, right? I thought it looked pretty good. I thought they did a good job of making the characters really seem like the characters that we know.
Yeah. What about you?
I did not like it. It's not something I was like, if they hadn't made it, I would have been, what would have been great? I'll tell you what, the voices threw me off. It really took me out of it. I understand they, obviously got younger actors to do the voicing and everything, and it probably would have cost them a fortune to get the original cast to voice the characters. But it really took me out of it. The biggest bright spot for me actually was Nikki. Otherwise, it was just kind of,
Yeah, I agree. At the beginning, the voices kind of took me out of it too. But I don't know. The more I was listening to it and watching it, I don't know if it's just I had watched it long enough that like I got used to them doing the voices that it didn't matter as much to me. But as I got further, it felt like they were the characters. Some of them, most of them, like the one who did Dustin, I think was really good. The one who did 11 wasn't as good. I shouldn't say wasn't as good. It sounded less like the original, which I don't know if their intention was to try to copy them or not. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun. I agree with you. I don't know that we needed it, but I thought it was neat. Like, I know earlier Scarlet had told me a lot of people didn't like that they like added monsters and kind of was like a different sort of story. That didn't really bother me. I thought it was just kind of like a fun thing. I liked it. I also think Nikki was probably like the best character in it. Definitely. They should have put her in the original maybe, but then again, we had such a big ensemble cast. I don't think they could have.
Well,
they'd have to go off a couple.
They never came up with the idea of Nikki until after they started making this. They started making this after season 4.
Okay.
And this is great.
I think I kind of felt like Nikki was a bit of a surrogate for the older kids. I understand why, excuse me, I'm hoarse tonight. I understand why they had to cut this story and we didn't get Nancy and Charlie.
We had Nancy for a minute.
Yeah, for a second. We did not have those characters had rich storylines. I don't know. Those characters had full storylines and were part of the gang. I know they were not so much. This show was set 1 month after the snowball. So I understand why they had to pare down the number of characters who appeared and had full storylines. And I felt like Nikki was maybe a little bit of that bridge between the younger kids and the older kids and the adults. I'm going to disagree with you guys on the voices a little bit. Well, of course, the voices didn't really sound like the original actors. I thought they mostly did a pretty good job of getting the rhythms of the voices and the way they speak and the writing sounded like those characters.
Yeah, that
Oh
I would
yeah,
agree. I think it just was a little weird.
I would. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean,
Yeah.
the kids that did the voices, they did a great job mimicking, but just their they're not going to impersonate their actual voices in perfectly, and that's just what threw me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like
All
I
right.
could be, watching the original series, I could not be looking at the TV and hear a voice and know who was talking. I couldn't do that with this.
I mean,
That's why I said some were better than others.
fair. Although I think you could certainly know when it's someone like 11 who has an unusual way of speaking, right?
Yeah.
Like they did have that cadence and rhythm down of those characters,
Yeah.
and the dialogue sounded like that. But yeah, the voices were a little. And then of course we had only one like really well known voice, which is Janine Garofalo played Mrs. Baxter.
Yeah.
Hell, I think I don't know who it was. I didn't get a chance to look, but the one who played her boyfriend, I guess not husband, boyfriend, I think was somebody that I know because he sounded really familiar, but I never did look, and I meant to. I'm gonna look right now.
It was shit. I forgot who it was.
I don't even offhand remember what his name is. The one who runs the store. What the heck?
I didn't dig deep into it.
No, it was bugging me because I kept thinking I recognized the voice. It wasn't that it mattered.
I didn't recognize it. I was surprised that
was it Dan? Was he Daniel? That was Daniel, right? Because if it was Lou Diamond Phillips. That's why.
Yeah.
That would be why he sounded familiar.
I was gonna say I knew that, and I couldn't remember who the hell it was.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Karen. Go ahead.
Animation is not a genre that I typically choose to watch or enjoy all that much. So I watch the whole thing. A lot of times I won't watch an entire animated show, or I'm just not interested in it. It's just not my thing. This was okay, right? And the animation looked pretty good, I thought. I will never rewatch this. I don't think this is something I need to watch over again, right? Now it's been renewed, and the second season is coming this fall. I think it's coming pretty soon.
Yeah.
They don't going to do the effects the same. It isn't going to be quite as difficult.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, animation, I guess, takes a little while, but anyway. Scarlet's here. Scarlet, how did you enjoy this?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had hopes that it would be more like true 80s, like Looney Tunes, Hanna-Barbera style.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was going to be. I was surprised to see this more. I mean,
yeah,
I'm going to call it Pixar style. That's not really what it is, but right.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched all of them. I watched up to 5, and I thought I'd stop at 5. But 5 is like my favorite episode out of all of them. So I just kept going after that.
I can't say I know exactly which episode that was because I just watched them.
It was the one with the tabloid where they were going into the tabloid.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was a little bit more misadventure-y. It didn't really have a monster. It was kind of like nice. They could have more episodes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if this show would have done better if they had done like a episode by episode individual stories. I don't know if it would have or not, and it maybe they wouldn't have been long enough, but I just feel like maybe that would be more what would have fit the like this kind of show, the style. Because I don't know. I liked it. I watched them. I started, I think, yesterday. I watched them pretty close together, and I wasn't like jumping up and down. I had to see the end or anything, but I mean, it was okay. I did not enjoy watching it, but would I watch them all that quickly? Otherwise, probably not.
I mean, Jamie, are you suggesting that you'd prefer? So this has a real Scooby-Doo vibe. I think it's supposed to. You know how the Scooby-Doo gang would solve a mystery in every episode, a half an hour episode, they solve the mystery, right? That's what you mean, like a case of the week kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it would work. I'm just wondering if it would have worked better like that style. I honestly don't know. It might have not, but yeah. I mean, because it's ironic. One overarching story, and it sort of was broken up at the one point. It seemed like it was done, and then it went on. So I don't know. It was a little different.
It's ironic because they call it Tales from '85, but there was only one tale.
One
But
tail.
but season 2 might also be Tales from 85.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Get a second tail.
I mean, to your point, Jamie, I guess these, Stranger Things has always been like a season long, like, case they have to solve, right? A thing they're doing.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. I think it might have been better if it was only 6 or 8 episodes. I think it became a little redundant in the middle, and maybe I could have done with 8. But since they were only half an hour, it's not that big a deal, right?
No, but I feel like, I guess, because a lot of it was, like you said, redundant, like it was chasing after different creatures, but it was still part of the same story. Like they could have maybe cut a lot of it out and consolidated it into just a couple monsters they were chasing, and it would have worked the same.
I almost feel like they were trying to make it like a little bit like for younger audiences.
Oh, yes.
It might be. Yeah, I would say that's probably the case. Although it was, like I was saying to you, I mean, it wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be, but it was kind of fairly violent for what I expected it to be, because I thought it was going to be more like a kids cartoon.
Looney Tunes is violent. How many anvils can Daffy Duck get dropped on his head?
I know, but Looney Tune characters like hitting each other isn't the same as like a monster killing a human, even if it's cartoon. Not that it was bad or scary or anything. I'm just saying I didn't expect it to be quite so violent. I expected it, I guess, to be a little more lighthearted than it was.
I guess, did anybody actually die in this?
I don't
Dan,
know. It ate them. Dan died, but it sort of
Dan.
ate them, and then they were like, I think all okay except for Dan in the end. I had only seen a couple when I originally made that statement, so. Hey, Kimberly, hey, Doc.
I do think
nobody actually died. Everybody that we thought was going to die, they saved.
I do think it was maybe designed for a slightly younger audience, or for people who are, I mean, I don't know if we really think there's anybody this would be their first Stranger Things exposure, right? Like, it's for people. I don't know. Did you guys feel? I thought it did a pretty good job of capturing. I mean, it definitely felt more like the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things, when the 2 best seasons, I think, when we all kind of like really liked it before it started to like drag and get kind of slow and bloated in the middle, and then it goes like crazy at the end in good and bad ways, right? I thought this captured sort of that. I thought of Scarlet a lot because they went like hard on the 80s soundtrack, even harder than the.
Oh, yeah.
That was my favorite part. Actually, that was my favorite part of the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Was the soundtrack.
Yeah, no, it did have. Yeah.
Like way more, less soundtrack, less score, more soundtrack in this. I also thought of AJ because it's a great relief, I'm sure, to you, AJ, and to me, to all of us,
they were real. They weren't covers.
that they paid money for the original songs and didn't have like bad covers.
Oh, yeah. That would have been an 80s thing, because they used to have like soap operas and stuff, and they would just pay for like cover versions instead of the real ones.
Yeah.
Did you just say it was a cover though, AJ?
No, they were all.
No, I said they weren't covers.
Oh, okay. I thought you said they were. That's why I was confused after you said that. Never mind.
Covers.
Which the live action Stranger Things used original music also, right? The original songs. AJ and It's Paradise is the main show that drives me and AJ insane with its crap covers.
That's fair. All right. Let me bring up the picture here. I've tried, like I was telling you guys before we started, I've tried to just kind of hit the big points of the show, but we'll try to jump through it where we can. We don't got to go through each thing detailed. I just knew I wouldn't remember what when it took place, so that's why I took that picture. I'm like, but I guess I didn't think. Of course, it's in 85. That was a dumb statement. I could have probably remembered it was at the beginning. Of the year,
by the way, Jamie, I did like your graphics. I like the Dragon's Lair game. I don't know if you put yourself in there.
No, it made games. I told it to make. I gave it a Stranger Things picture from the show. And it picked vintage games. Yeah. Thanks. Whoops. Wait, I got to turn my volume up. This volume is so finicky. All right. So we start kind of where later on we pick back up in the middle when we see the flashback. Although, I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I did think it was a little strange that they didn't outright say it was a flashback later. Like, I mean, you could figure it out that like it was the same scene, but I don't know. They never said like, change in unless I missed it. I don't remember them ever saying a change in date when they went back. But so we got these creatures that are sort of different looking, sort of Demogorgon adjacent, I guess, that are sort of plant like.
Demo plants.
Yeah. And yeah, demo plants, we'll call it that. But it starts out, you don't really know why that they're showing this one being incinerated and all these spores going off. And like I said, you find out later it shows this as a flashback of, when this had happened, but that's how it got out originally. So yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think about like the idea of the way they did it with the spores and everything? I hear a cat.
Hello, cat. Hello,
That's my
Scarlet
cat going. That's my cat going crazy.
Okay.
I did like the whole storyline. I liked how the storyline came around and went back to this with the whole extinction thing and evolution and all that.
I thought, okay, so I'm going to agree with you that it was an interesting way to go. Like they went sort of the plant route was kind of interesting and nice to see something a little bit different. I did think, Jamie, when you get to those pumpkins though, it really reminded me of. Do you remember, Jamie? You asked me to watch a movie and interview.
I didn't watch the movie, but I know which one you mean.
Scarlet, it's this Halloween horror movie called Carved, and it's about like a chemical makes these pumpkin plants like go evil and try to murder people because it's in retribution for making jack-o'-lanterns. I think is the.
Yeah.
And they looked exactly like this, except there was all puppetry in that movie.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Actual practical stuff?
It's pretty cool, yeah. I mean, it's preposterous, but it's kind of cool, the puppetry, yeah.
I have to look it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't mind the plant thing. Like I said, I think it was neat. They did something a little different. What did you think about that idea?
Yeah, I was, it was definitely a creative idea. I like the whole idea of the spores to keep it going.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is chapter 1. Welcome to Hawkins' New Kid.
They're limited here because they can't like interfere with canon, right? They've got to try to like have an original story and an adventure, and they are like in this box between season 1 and season 2 that they can't really
2 and 3.
Between 2 and 3, I'm sorry, right? That they can't really mess with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I never really thought about that, but that probably is limiting because they can't go so far. But you have to. Hi, B. Welcome.
Maybe.
All right. So they just kind of jump in with all the kids. I did like the part with Dustin. I'm just trying to figure out like what points to hit here. We kind of first like, meet everybody because there's Dan who runs the store and is the boyfriend of Mrs. Baxter. We see Steve, or not Steve. What the hell's the other bro? What's his name?
Charlie.
No,
that is the actor's name.
No, I mean Will's brother. I couldn't think of his brother's name. It doesn't matter.
I always want to call him Charlie because the actor's name is Charlie something other, right?
I was surprised he wasn't in at all. Like at least they put Nancy.
His name is Jonathan.
Jonathan, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm like, how am I drawing a blank on
I'm
this?
saying Jonathan, but nobody's hearing me.
Sorry, Scarlet.
Hi, Jonathan.
Couldn't hear you over the cat.
Maybe.
Yeah, sometimes her mic is quieter. I before had turned it up, but then it ended up louder, so I put it back on auto. Maybe it needs turned up a little bit.
I do have external mic. Maybe I'll try that out sometime. See if it sounds better.
No, it's just sometimes you are lower than us. You don't talk as loud. We talk loud. Let's be honest. We just talk loud.
I'm a lady.
Well, like I said, we kind of see everybody getting back together, him trying to bribe Hopper there to take her out. She's not in school at this point because this is all before that. So it starts off with the death of not death, I should say, because they end up there okay. The capture of these two guys, Charlie, and I don't remember what the other one's name is, but they're bullies and they get pulled under by that plant.
I believe his name is Dirtbag Charlie, right?
Dirtbag
Yeah.
Charlie.
Dirtbag Charlie and another dirtbag that I don't remember the name of.
Jeff is the other guy. Jeff, maybe.
What is it?
Is it Jeff?
Maybe that works. I
why
honestly,
Oh,
I
Bully
honestly
number
don't.
2.
Huh? We'll go. Is that what you said?
Bully number 2.
Yeah, bully number 2. That works. So yeah, they go when they're in school. This is when that's I think is it Will? Yeah, Will bumps into some girl, and her boyfriend starts to be a bully, and is stopped by Nikki, who is the new main character in this show. Who's the new girl? Why it's called Welcome to Hawkins' New Girl, or it's that.
new kid.
New kid, whatever, new kid. So yeah, you guys, I think we were talking about before Scarlet came here, but you said you like Nikki too, right, Scarlet?
Yes, because she looks like my best friend from high school.
All right, that's fair.
So I'm invested, and we listen to stuff like X-Ray Specs and Misfits, so it fits so well. And I know a lot of people that were covering this didn't like her as a character.
Really? I felt she was kind of a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, me too.
I was confused by her unusual size at first. And I was like, wait, are they in high school? Is she like a senior? And that's why she's like a full grown person. And they're like, no, they're in 8th grade. It's Hawkins Middle School. They're all like in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I know that our main characters are not, especially at this point after season 2, they were shorter, younger actors, right? She's just unusually, she's quite tall for her age, I guess. But I was at first a little confused about what her age was.
Yeah, I mean, some girls around 12 or 13 just pop up a foot.
That's true.
I think it was to make
I was real short, and then I was like 12 or 13, and I grew like a foot.
It happens. But yeah, I think they did that to kind of put her, I guess, on the outside. I don't know that they needed to do. I mean, it didn't matter one way or another, but you know, she was supposed to feel on the outside, so
yeah,
that probably had it.
They're like a band of misfits and freaks, right? And nerds.
Mm-hmm.
They all are supposed to be, so she fits in just perfect, right?
Yeah.
All right. Then we also meet her mother here. We don't find out till later she's her mother, but Mrs. Baxter. This is their science teacher that's leaving for the sabbatical or something. So she's their new science teacher, and therefore the only one they can go to for help that knows science, because before they always went to the teacher. So it is winter now, and they need money for their D&D campaign. So they are going to use 11 to shovel snow. They're not actually intending to shovel the snow. They're gonna
it's lazy.
let her do all the work and take all the credit, right? But when they do that, then they are, well, first they're yelled at by the guy that has a plow, which kind of annoyed me because I feel like, yeah, that guy runs a plow, but what man that runs a plow is going to like yell at kids for getting like change to plow somebody's driveway, right? Like that's awful.
That's,
I mean, I guess
wants that money.
But that's money out of his pocket.
Yeah.
You didn't grow up in the 80s, Jamie.
I did grow up in the 80s, but I didn't shovel
You
driveways.
grew up in the later 80s. Come on, let's be honest.
I was born in the 80s, so I was there for most of the 80s, but I was younger, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Our snowplow guy has a contract, and he's on contract to come, and you know, if kids are playing in the driveway, they got to get out of the way for our plow guy. Did you notice they called him Mr. Plow, which of course is a classic song from The Simpsons, right? Like, the lady says Mr. Plow is coming, and that's what they call him.
I did not notice that.
And
no.
of course, you'll remember when Linda Ronstadt sings that song on The Simpsons, right?
Didn't know that. All right. Well, either way, he gets grabbed. I don't know if he was ever okay. I don't think they showed his body come out, did they? So maybe one person died. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I just was curious because I couldn't remember. But he gets grabbed by what they're calling the snow shark. That pulls him under and chases them. There's a lot of like them, you know, being chased and chasing after the alien, which I didn't, you know, because I was trying to get cut down on pictures of. I didn't get as many, but yeah, it is attacking them from under the snow, and this is where Nikki ends up like part of it more because she's, I think, driving away from getting pizza or something. But they have Dustin as the bait with his jerky. I love that picture. That's like crazy. But instead, it goes after Nikki, and they end up saving her, and she in turn saves them, and then wants to know what's going on. And that's pretty much the first episode.
Get off the snow! Get off the snow!
Yeah, get off the snow. They're trying to yell to her to get away. So yeah, and that's the first episode. I don't know if that was a good length. I'm trying to consolidate 10 episodes.
So winter is new for Stranger Things. We've never seen a season set in the winter, right? With snow and stuff. So I kind of like that they said it and they chose that. I do kind of wish that the historic blizzard produced an actual like accumulation of snow. Like there's a scene later where Dustin is like saying something about, oh, it's a historic blizzard, and like the road is not covered with snow. There's just a little snow.
That's because Mr. Plow already went through.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, Mr. Plow.
But anyway, that was a new thing, and so that was kind of fun, right? That it was winter.
Yeah. Plus, they don't have to make the actors be in the snow, so it works out well, I guess. So this is our first look at one of the big monster things, aliens. I don't know, do they call them monsters or aliens? I guess aliens. The thing that I thought was a little interesting, I guess, but a little confusing, is that there was multiple different creatures, which I guess that's where I'm saying, like, why not consolidate it and make like one type of creature instead of doing separate episodes to chase
well, technically it is one creature because the spores, whatever plant the spores land on, it becomes.
Okay. I don't know that they look like what they're becoming, but I get that kind of makes sense, I guess, with what we saw.
I mean, we have seen Stranger Things have more than one creature per season, right? Like there was the Demo Dog, and then the Demogorgon, and the Mind Flayer, and I mean, they do usually have an assortment of creatures.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying you couldn't. I'm just saying because they were adding new ones, and in order to keep it like shorter, I didn't think they needed like the spider-looking one and this thing and the ones that were protecting the queen, and like there was a lot of different ones. I just don't know that it was necessary. It was fine. I just don't know that we needed that many because they didn't spend very much time on it. Like this one's gone by I think the beginning of the second episode.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it was all the same thing. It just took different forms.
Right. I'm just saying I didn't think they needed to do that. Was my
Jamie you might be saying. I mean.
I know what you're saying. It's still part of the same thing.
I think you're kind of saying you're saying you didn't necessarily need that. Are you saying something similar when I said it could have been 8 episodes and it would have been fine? Like
and I'm saying I think that contributed to it them doing different forms of the same creature.
Yeah. I mean it was fine, but
Fletch.
Fletch.
It was kind of by doing that it was kind of like Scooby-Doo-ish.
It did make it seem more like that, like Saturday morning cartoon. That part I got out of that because it was sort of. That's why I wonder if they could have done like one adventure for each thing, because it seems like they tried to kind of do that because each one had like a, I don't know, like one theme or location, but it still had that over story. Right. So they kind of did both, I guess, and maybe it didn't work out as good because of that. I don't know. So there is the bug creature. See, I don't know. It doesn't look like a plant. It's more like a centipede. But this is, definitely didn't expect when she ripped it apart down the middle and the kid fell out. That was, I think, an interesting.
They didn't expect it either.
No, they didn't expect it. I did like this idea that they controlled the minds of the kids and used them because that kind of, went in with what happened with Vecna and everything, so it made sense.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth it, Fletcher. It was pretty good. Wait, I'm saying hi, Mackie.
Mackie.
So Nikki, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Nikki wants to know what's going on. And they're like, well, we'll tell you tomorrow. And I don't know. I was kind of wondering if they were even going to, but they do bring her into the secret of 11 and the underground. Why do I do that? Upside down. And yeah, so they do let her in on that. And then this is
They kind of have to now that she's been attacked by monsters, right? Like, what are you going to be like? Nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. Right?
Yeah, I know. Well, they try to do that most of the time, but it doesn't work that way. But at least the ones that were like eaten, they sort of forget. So that worked in their favor.
Yeah.
I was actually really surprised they used the same font work for the cartoon as they did for the series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they didn't use the same title theme, right? They have a different title theme.
Well, kind of started out like the original, and then it kind of did its own thing.
Yeah.
But maybe something more cartoony than the ones that they were used in the series.
Yeah.
Maybe not in chapters.
The reason the title cards had to look similar was because they only had like 2 fonts in 1980s.
Neither of them were Comic Sans.
I lost you guys for a second there. I lost you guys for a minute.
Oh.
Yeah, you can kind of go in and out all night.
My VPN keeps trying to turn itself on, and then I keep making it turn off. My VPN likes to block you guys sometimes.
On purpose.
Yeah, it thinks this is like a dangerous website or something. My VPN is it sometimes blocks me. My Office installed it, and it sometimes blocks me from accessing the Office. It's like it hates everything. Like sometimes I can't even get my own email because of it. But anyhow, sorry about that.
That's okay. So their first idea is to go to the gate that's been closed. There we go.
Yeah.
And make sure it's still closed, which it is closed. But they go to the lab or whatever, and
I kind of want to ask my hairdresser to make my hair look more like Eleven's hair in this cartoon.
Okay.
It'll bounce.
Yeah, it has a lot of. Anyway, yeah. So because she closed the gate at the end of the season, right? And so they think nothing should be able to get through. But
right.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah. But they find out it's closed. So they decide to make this club. I don't remember what it stood for, but High C.
Hawkins Investigation Club.
Well, they called it Hick, but I thought it was High C too, Jamie.
Yeah. Well, I think one of them called it High C and he yelled at him for it. So that's why
later Steve will call it High C.
Yeah. But they decide to take like questionnaires in their boxes that end up filled with garbage. There it is. It does say Hawkins Investigators. To take like people that need help to find out what's going on in the town.
It's like a suggestion box, kind of, right?
Yeah. Yes, basically. I don't remember why they ended up at her house there. It might have just been because they were going to get Nikki. But Nikki comes to talk to them, and they do tell, like I said, they do tell her the truth. And then this kid from the guy who owns the pumpkin patch, he gets grabbed, and they do help him and save him. And then they tell I take that back. I think the kid ended up saving themselves, but they called them, or not called them, left them a comment in the box, and they came to help them.
It's his like wife and daughter or granddaughter or something.
Yeah, I think it's his grand.
He's missing, right? Can you like?
Yeah.
Or he's at.
Whoop! You went out a sec. You went out a second there. But yeah, it was in the grandparents' pumpkin patch or whatever. So they go to try to not all of them. God, what is with me today? I am sorry. I am like
nobody
really working on all the names, and I know the names. Max and Lucas go to check out the pumpkin patch. Max tells Will to take. I forget exactly where she tells to take 11 out, but she tells him to take 11. And
there's a winter carnival.
Yeah,
take her to the winter carnival because she's very stressed and she's under a lot of pressure, and he should take her there for fun.
Yeah. So he does that, and they go to the pumpkin patch. And meanwhile, Dustin goes to investigate another clue that they got about a sloth man or something like that. and he finds that Charlie, but he doesn't remember what happens, just says that he saw a red light, and he's kind of freaked out. So they know something happened to him, but they don't know what exactly, and he doesn't remember it. And then at the Winter Festival, they hang out. She helps Will get some confidence by showing him how to use the mallet, which is only important later because he uses the mallet the right way. But here's the grandkids, the ones that their grandfather has the pumpkin patch and are scared because the plant monster thing, the alien thing, is there. So they go around, and there is the view of it as a pumpkin, which is creepy as hell.
I love it.
Weird way.
Exactly
No, I like
the
the
movie.
movie. Yeah, it does kind of look like the movie, I think.
Is it the one from 2024, Karen?
It's called Carved 2024. And
I have 2 of them, yeah. Okay.
It was on Hulu.
There's 2 movies called Carved.
Oh, yeah. They watch a double feature.
Somebody didn't get their copyright in. Yeah. So this haunted pumpkin patch thing was a little hokey, and I was like, "Wait, who is this show for?" That like,
For me.
luckily, I was like, if it was going to be haunted pumpkins for like pumpkin demo pumpkins for this entire season, I probably would not have been able to finish it. So I'm glad.
Oh, I loved it. Bring it
Yeah.
on.
We got through the pumpkins and on to the next thing.
Yes. And
Yeah,
no,
the whole
it's
show
not.
was very Saturday morning cartoon.
It was sort of silly, but in a good way, I thought. So they use the plow to kill the pumpkins and basically destroy the whole guy's pumpkin patch. They probably are not going to be, super happy. But they know that nobody can eat the pumpkins, so they alert with their code red. Because Dustin is about ready to, actually more than one of them I think are up there, about ready to do a pie eating contest with this girl that he constantly is his, I guess he considers enemy at the time. So they try to stop them from eating the pumpkins, and she takes it anyway. And this is where she gets, she gets like infected by it and kind of possessed by it. And this is where I said it's kind of like a spider type creature, I'd call it. I don't know what else to call it, this huge thing that takes her over. And of course, it does, though, at least look more Demogorgon-ish. But they end up, pulling her out. Elle, as she does through a lot of the show, uses her psychic abilities, and they get her out of there. But she at one point gets there, you can see, gets wrapped up, and Will has to try to save her. They get helped by Nikki. Everybody kind of works together on these, obviously, to get them free, and it kind of goes back and forth with them being captured, them being out, them being through the whole show. That's pretty much
that ponytail girl with like the 80s side ponytail.
Yeah.
Her name is Rosario, and she's like Dustin's frenemy. Right?
Yeah, she kind of reminds me of the girl that was in season 5 that I liked a lot. That had glasses like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
His like actual his girlfriend that he met at camp or something.
Not Susie.
Yeah.
That was Susie. That was season 4.
Is she on Susie? When does Susie come into play? Is she like a side piece?
AJ just said season 4 is when Susie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think it wasn't supposed to be there. There's Will. He got the mallet. What did you think of? I don't think the originals had that tongue thing. It reminded me of the Alien movie monsters that have the like inside mouth proboscis thing that always comes out. Do you know what I mean? From the movie Aliens. I don't remember the Demogorgons having that, but it was kind of funny when you.
It's not a Demogorgon.
It's not a
It's a
Demogorgon.
No, I
Demoplant.
know, but I'm saying I don't think it had like an inside mouth that came out, did it? Is that just like all?
It was a different
No,
thing.
it's a different thing. I mean,
Okay. No, I was just wondering if it was in the original. I couldn't remember. But anyway, he smushed it and it got pissed, but it spit her out. And that is the end of episode 2.
I thought throughout these episodes, starting with this business at the carnival where Will is like, I'm not good at the strongman, and then Nikki's like, whack, just do it, right? Nikki is leaning in hard on the like, oh, Will, you're not a freak, you're cool thing, right? I have to wonder if Nikki actually like stuck around and was in the show, what would happen to Will? Would Will have, Will doesn't really come out of his shell till very late in the show.
Well, yeah, no, that's
Doesn't
I
gain
was
any
thinking that too.
right?
Yeah, that might have
yeah.
screwed up the storyline.
I kind of thinking about that myself. I'm like, when did Will didn't have a backbone between seasons 2 and 3, in season 3. So
and this show leans hard on that, right? And I to the point that I was a little bit like, okay, enough already, Nikki, right? Like we get it. But yeah, it's a
Zombie boy.
And it's not yet in his story arc to, as AJ says, get a backbone or to stand up or believe in himself, right?
Yeah.
I saw on the internet there's a lot of people who didn't like the show because they felt it was very inconsistent and don't consider it canon.
Well, I think it's supposed to be canon, so.
Oh, it is canon, but I'm just saying there's people on the internet who don't.
I always think that's funny though, when they just like decide.
My cat doesn't find it canon.
They're just like, I'm just going to ignore that because I said so, and that makes it okay. Okay, sure.
I can be annoyed that they wrote a stage play, but if the creators say it's canon, then I would have to accept it as canon. I don't like just not accept canon. Like what? But whatever. I guess. I mean, I can see that a lot of people wouldn't like it because I think there might be a lot of people who just would not like it no matter what, right?
Well, I mean that's a problematic thing, giving Will this storyline before he has it in season 4. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it does seem a little premature, right, to lean so hard on that.
Yeah.
All right, evolution. Now the title just refers to the Mrs. Baxter explaining to them, which is really the important part, I guess, that an organism will do anything it can to not become extinct, that it will evolve. And she kind of explains it, and that's how they decide that something from the upside down got left behind, and in order to live in our atmosphere or whatever, that it changed, and it's like latching on to whatever else in order to survive, and it gives out the spores and then it comes back again. But that's not like a huge part of the episode, actually. There's where they're trying to
it was a good idea for the writers to use, though, right, to allow them to have their creature change with all these episodes, and to give us something that we could like believe why after the gate is closed there are still creatures around. I thought it was kind of a good idea.
I'll be honest though, part of me kept wondering as they're battling the big one at the end, I just kept thinking, why don't you just let it go through the damn gate? Maybe it'll leave you alone if you leave it alone. I know she thought that maybe it would come back after them from what she said, but I was just like, maybe it just wants to go home. That's what it made it seem like, the way it acted, I thought, which is kind of funny, but not the way it works. That.
only Jamie could feel sympathy for Demo.
No, I'm not saying I felt sympathy for it necessarily. I'm just saying that, I wondered if they had just left it alone, if they wouldn't have had to go through all this. It just seems like.
I mean, do you really think that? There's no living in peaceful harmony with those things creeping around town. They were like eating people and sucking children inside their bodies, right?
There's no living peacefully in Hawkins, period.
I guess.
It was like consuming, like trapping people inside its bodies or whatever, right?
Yeah.
All right. So they go.
It wasn't like Godzilla, who's like, let me just get these Titans under control and go home.
No, I just wondered if it would have been an easier plan. That's all. All right. So she does explain this stuff to him in the house, but this is also where they see that Daniel is her boyfriend, who owns the store, who obviously becomes, more important later. And then she's acting out alien there with her ketchup and mustard. That was funny. I enjoyed that. All right. So this is where they find out how the whole thing works, and that basically if it dies, it disintegrates into ashes again. And if the spores don't get a new host within 24 hours, it dies for good. But obviously some of it got away. Otherwise, we'd have no show.
Fair.
and then they follow it to the sawmill, and these two guys are sucked up. I was a little confused about this though, because one of them they both got taken, and I don't know if they just didn't see the second person, because I know after, when both the guys were spit out, it was still walking around. But after the first one was spit out, they're saying there's no person anymore in there, and I'm thinking, yeah, what about the other guy? I don't know if they like put it out of order or something. I don't know, but yeah, the creature or whatever it is continued to move around without a human home.
I was really distracted by how sketchy these guys are and how sketchy their sawmill is. And like, and in the beginning, the one guy's like, "Oh, is that the wood you got at like so-and-so's place?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's carrying these like planks of wood. Like they do have all the, like a sawmill as appropriate. It has these giant tree trunks, these giant logs that they're going to put in the sawmill. But I was like, wait, are these guys like stealing wood off other people's property? Sawmill? Like, what is going on here?
Not entirely sure. They did seem sketchy. I'll give you that. All right, so there's the big creature. So she rips it apart again. The guy falls out, and this is where she says there's no other people, but there was another guy, so I'm not sure what that was about. And then the log almost falls. Well, it doesn't almost fall. It falls, almost crushes Elle, and Mike freaks out. And this is where
what Mike freaked out. Oh my God, that never happened.
It's freaking him out.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm freaking out right now. Got three
But
nine eyeballs.
Yeah, it does look like he has lots of eyes. But this is where he makes a unilateral decision that Elle's going to go back to Hopper, and they're going to tell him what happened and get help, because he promised Hopper he wouldn't let anything happen to her. And yeah, he makes a decision even though nobody agrees with him, or at least they don't all agree with him. I don't know if nobody agreed with him, but
I would say nobody agreed with him because
well,
Elle was like,
even
Elle wasn't happy with him either.
No, Elle wasn't happy. Max wasn't happy, and Dustin wasn't happy. I don't know if Will and Lucas agreed. I can't remember what they did, but the rest of them weren't happy.
I mean, the person who made a bad decision was Hopper, because why would you ever like put Mike in charge of, right? Like that, that's a problem always in Stranger Things, that he's like, Mike, don't anything happen to her. I did kind of appreciate this ongoing, like this takes another episode or two to resolve, where people are like, Mike, Elle's like, Mike, you don't decide for me. And Max is like, you don't decide. There's this very like, this male protection thing going on here, right? That like he's the man and he's the boy and he's going to protect the girl and tell her what to do. I mean, it's kind of an 80s kind of thing, I guess. But
yeah,
I mean, did you guys feel that from that storyline?
Oh, absolutely. It happened in the show too.
Yeah, yeah, it did.
Yeah. All right, so we have Steve calling the girl the wrong name because he's
that was funny.
That was funny.
Oops.
Yeah.
I was actually very happy when Steve came on screen.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. That girl's name is Natalie, right? He calls her Nancy.
Calls her Nancy.
And the actress who plays Nancy, her name is Natalia Dyer, right? So
yeah,
like, go Raiders.
I
That's
didn't
funny.
know something. All right, so there's the creature, and it starts attacking Steve's car, which he's not happy with. Well, he's not happy it's attacking anything.
Steve's cars have bad luck.
They do. The confession. Trying to remember Whoa, what did I just click on? I just closed my damn recap. Shit, hold on.
They did a good job with Steve, right? Like this does fit in well. Like the Dustin and Steve relationship had not yet developed, and I like how they plugged that in there as just like the beginning of what we're going to see with those two.
Right. I'm not sure what I was trying to figure out though what the confession was in regards to. I don't remember really a confession. I mean, this is the one about the incinerator, but I don't. Oh, I know, because Mike wants to never mind, because Mike wants to confess to Hopper, but he doesn't end up confessing in the end. But that was what it was meaning. All right, so he's like, we're gonna go back. This is what we're doing, and he completely ignores everybody what they want to do. And Dustin goes off and finds Steve and makes him an honorary member so they can try to take care of it themselves. Hopper isn't home. There's a whole thing about him bringing home movies. That's not really important. So yeah, 11 was pissed at Mike for making a decision for her. I don't blame her. I did like this where she finally tells him off because he did that a lot in the show too, you know, in the regular show. And she's like, "You do not make a decision for me."
He's a real bossy pants, but she didn't. Right? He's always, but I mean,
bossy pants.
He's not wrong that she didn't say like, no, like the hell with that, Mike. We're not doing that, right? Like everybody does sort of like let themselves be bossed by him.
Yeah, but he really just wants to keep her safe. But yeah, he was definitely
so paternalistic and like not right. Like
he really is a bossy pants because it's not just Elle. He does it to everybody.
Yeah,
he does. All right, so Nikki takes Will to her garage and shows him some of the stuff she made.
I like her tinker skills.
Yes, yeah, she makes things out of junk basically.
Nikki's knickknacks.
Great.
Mom, please don't call him that.
And it'll call that later too. That was funny. All right, so Steve and Dustin go out and follow it since it had been near his car. He gets the Lucille's out of the back of the trunk there. And then meanwhile, Lucas and Max are at the arcade, and he's flapping around the picture he took of the alien and 11 that happens to show her tattoo. Look, I'm not sure that picture really shows enough of anything that it would have made a difference if it got out.
Yeah, I didn't see a tattoo in there.
It shows her tattoo though. That's enough. And there's a monster in it.
Yeah. But still, it's a little blurry Polaroid. I'm not sure that they would come and find her from that. But you know, they're kids, and it's a cartoon.
It's good enough for a tabloid.
Yeah, it's good enough for a tabloid. Exactly. So they're talking about the picture while meanwhile Dustin is figuring out how to drive this truck because they get the creature into the truck and then they drive it off towards, I forget where exactly they're saying it is, the plant that has the incinerator. That's all I remember.
It's the garbage incinerator of the town.
It's in the dump. Because Steve's like,
oh, that's right.
We should go to the dump. And he's like, no, there's an incinerator. Where is it? The dump.
The dump. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, I was still yelling at him there. So yeah, they do make up, but she was pissed at him for a while. They get the thing chases them all the way to the incinerator and all the way to the dump as they expected. Dustin almost gets stuck in the garbage pit place. I like when like the diaper falls on him and he's like, that was funny. But they managed to lure them into there, and then they stop them from coming out, and they shut the doors and they burn them, which should be in theory enough to kill them, which would be if the spores didn't get out, or the spores weren't elsewhere. I can't remember if they got out here or it's that they were still out
here. They were already out. And
They're
everybody caught the line from Star Wars right before Steve calls it out. We all caught it.
Yeah, Steve's like, that's from Star Wars, right?
Oh, when he said it was, yeah.
But it was I mean, it's one of the most famous lines from Star Wars, right? So I think most people probably noticed it as it is said.
Yes.
Yeah, I misunderstood what you meant. Okay. So this guy that I do not remember his name, that is really annoying. He finds the picture and decides he's keeping it and not giving it back. And I kind of wondered as I watched this, like, how old is this kid supposed to be? I guess he's just like an older kid.
He's probably about Steve. He's probably the same age as Steve.
Okay, because I still kind of feel like, really, you won't give the picture back to like these little kids, like how?
Well, he's going to sell it to the tabloid.
I know, but it seems like really.
There was a lot of bullies in the 80s, Jamie.
Oh yeah,
I know there was. I'm just saying, it's like it didn't really. He didn't really need it, but yeah,
that's
he
when
did.
Bullying back then, bullying built character.
It was the golden age of bullies back then.
That was the golden age of satanic panic.
Yeah, like
all these things.
I'm not gonna say bullying was like okay, but there was no like anti-bullying like back then, right?
Yeah, you're just supposed to like stick up to the bully,
stand up to him, and he'll stop.
Yeah,
was
punch
the only
him.
advice you ever got, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Travis. Welcome. All right, so Hopper's coming home, and they are rushing there to tell them to stop and not confess it to Hopper because they killed them, they think. So there's no reason for him to tell Hopper about the danger for Mike. Sorry, yeah, Mike, to tell Hopper about the danger. But they don't quite make it. And look, I gotta ask you guys something because I didn't have time to go back and rewatch it, and I missed part of this because it didn't make a lot of sense. What was the reasoning why they didn't want him to see Nikki? Like, what did it matter if there was another
Thank
friend
you.
in the house?
I
okay.
wanted to know the same thing.
Jealousy, friendship, jealousy.
Okay, I was just
I think
like,
that's
why
all
would
it is.
Hopper care there was another person? I mean, he's already annoyed, but like, I didn't think
thought
it
you
was-
meant
Oh,
between.
I think
That was later, I'm
Hopper,
sorry.
No, I meant Hopper.
because I think Hopper doesn't want any new Elle to meet any new kids and make any new friends because that
Yeah.
exposes her to being.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say parental jealousy in this case.
He doesn't want.
Okay, now that makes sense, Karen. Thank you, because I was really confused by that too.
Yeah, they should have.
I didn't even think about the fact that Elle's not supposed to be out and about and meeting new people, and
Yeah.
They should have explained it to us because we didn't.
I just thought he was possessive of her. I just thought that he didn't want her to, venture out into the world. Protective.
Yeah, that's true too. I just didn't. I was like so confused, and I didn't know if I missed.
I was
something.
too. I was like, I just didn't get it. I'm like, why? I'm like, it was funny because like poor Nikki's like floating around the room, but
yeah, she hangs her from the
I
ceiling.
did like that bit. That bit was funny. See, they needed to use like in the second series. I hope they use like Eleven's abilities for like normal stuff like this or trying to clean the driveways because I think that's funny.
Yeah, it was that part was very cartoony that like it fit, but I agree it would be funny on the show too. They move around.
And it would be kind of realistic that a kid would want to use their powers for this kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of like, when Harry Potter, when Fred and George turned 17 and their mother is like, just because you can use magic doesn't mean you have to use it for every single thing. That's what if I had those powers, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not chilling this driveway, of course, right?
Yeah, true. And then they terrorize their bully teacher, right? All right. So they do sneak her out, but then she hears them talking about that they didn't want her there. And look, it did sound like they didn't want her there, and I think partly they didn't because Mike didn't, and everybody was following Mike.
Yeah.
Which was issue, but I mean, look, this was a predictable trope from a teenage drama, right? I mean, it wasn't anything.
Yeah.
He felt bad. She was ignored. Let's see. Hopper would be worried that another kid knows about 11 outside the core group of kids. It's not helping. She's a daughter of a teacher at her school.
that would have been helpful actually later, if when because they have this argument, and then it kind of gets Mike takes it too far, but it's also out of context for Nikki because she only hears part of it. But when Mike apologizes later, he should have said, "Hey, you didn't hear the whole conversation. Like I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said it the way I did." But Hopper doesn't want explain it to Nikki, which in turn would explain it to us idiots that didn't care.
I think that Mike also just didn't want her there though, because he didn't want her part of the campaign. That's what he was upset about.
Mike's just being a jackass as usual.
Yeah. It's so weird the parents get jealous of their kids' friends. My mom was like that. She didn't like me spending too much time with friends. All right, fair sometimes. But at least he has a reason in this case. All right, so he sells the picture to the rag newspaper. That, again, I don't know that it mattered they had the picture, because I also don't think anybody actually that's an adult would believe that newspaper. But,
I don't know. I mean, they're still selling the National Enquirer in every checkout counter in the country.
I guess, but I don't know that it would be enough to bring them hunting for help.
And those tabloids had a real heyday in the 80s.
They did.
Tabloids were huge in the 80s. And I mean, and all it takes is, even if somebody's just not going to buy it and they're just standing in the checkout line, just flipping through it, and somebody that worked, one of the evil scientists go, "Oh shit, I know that tattoo."
Yeah.
Well, if I was an evil scientist and I lost track of my psychic captive, I would read tabloids, right? Like Fox Mulder reads tabloids to find cases
Yeah.
and stuff. Like Matthew Modine could totally be sitting in his living room reading the Weekly World News in case like some psychic kid turns up.
All right. You know, I was thinking when you said that though, they don't even sell those anymore, do they? I haven't
they
seen
do.
them in a decade.
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
Bad
they
Boy
do.
around. Bad Boy is around.
I think they're around, yeah.
Yes.
I
Well,
love
they're
Bad
not
Boy.
they're not like in the checkout like they used to be at any rate, or at least I haven't seen them in a long time.
I don't know.
Thank you,
Probably have
Travis.
to go to an actual newsstand to get it.
Yeah, you might have to. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate
You
it.
could probably go online to get it.
Our stream that you're enjoying it.
Probably.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's probably available online.
Yeah, well, people maybe don't want to pay for them. I don't know. I don't think I've seen one in decades.
They're around. I mean, I see them in the grocery store, but like they less often say like the Loch Ness Monster, and they say things like Kate
Trump is a robot.
Middleton had a secret baby that nobody knows about, kind of stuff, right? Or Hillary Clinton left Bill.
Right.
Like, you know, there are like ridiculous headlines, but they seem to be less science fiction and more celebrity oriented nowadays.
Yeah, and to be fair, I'm not really looking for them when I go to the grocery store either. So I just thought it was interesting. I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, Weekly World News is still publishing. I just looked it up because
They were like huge in the 80s. Like this is kind of a realistic.
You know what would be funny? We should totally buy like a bunch of them and do like a live stream about like the stories in them, like something funny. Look up, research these things. That'd be kind of funny. I don't know that it would be worth the money. I'm just saying it might be kind of fun. All right. So they are trying to figure out how they're going to get the picture back. So they chase him on his bike and he refuses to give it to them. And then eventually he admits that he sold it to the paper. And they go off on their hijinks heist to steal it back. I really liked this episode. I know Scarlet said she liked this episode. I really did.
One. It's my favorite one of the 10.
Yep.
This is your favorite one of the 10.
Yeah.
Mine too. I thought it was fun.
Fun.
I didn't know that Elle could use her powers through windows from really far away. But other than that, which seemed a little, Jamie, because her using her powers to begin with isn't far-fetched. But to me, it felt a little like it didn't make sense that she could do that. But no, but other than that, I really liked it. And here we have the Scoops Ahoy ad as kind of a, I guess, Easter egg.
Well, you know what's funny? When I first saw the sign, I thought they were going to the mall at first.
I thought they were too.
And I thought we were gonna get like a little cameo of Robin before she became part of the gang.
Yeah, no, I thought so too, but we did not. It was just a little Easter egg there. Here's the Weekly Watcher. They're gonna try to steal it. So they make their whole plan of what they're gonna do, sneaking in. Lucas has like a half a key card they're gonna use. They're gonna distract the security guards. This is where it ends up that they don't know how to quite do it all the way, but Nancy comes down and finds out that what happened about the picture. Somebody, I can't remember if it was Mike or who it was, but somebody lets it slip. And she's like, well, I can help. So they decide to use her acting skills. I really thought they were going to use her journalism, like that she was going to go to the paper.
Yeah, that's what I thought she was going to do too.
Yeah.
But this was so much funnier though, right? She talks about her alien boyfriend and that he needs to save her from and all this stuff so that they can... so that they are distracted. And the other thing I absolutely sorry, what?
I was going to say that was classic Stranger Things. Like you can't have a Stranger Things and not have the scene where they're in the basement detailing their plan with diagrams and models and everything, right? Like that's
definitely.
That's classic Stranger Things. It's got to be in the show.
And I loved her tinfoil hat.
I did too. But I was going to say what I liked about this scene that just is so silly, but I loved when Dustin tapes a picture of a Polaroid of the hallway or whatever to the camera and they actually fall for it. Like that was so funny. I thought it was silly, but it was funny. Let's see. Travis said, I heard that one critique I heard was that things happen that contradict what happens later, which I found bizarre. I thought they did a good job stating this was an extension of season 2 events. I don't really think anything outright contradicts it other than, like we said, like Nikki, but I don't know. To me, the Nikki thing isn't that big a deal. I just assumed she moved away, and I didn't really think much about it. This isn't a new upside down incident, merely an epilogue of what happened in 2. People bring up the events in 1985, and it can just be a part of that. Yeah, I agree, Travis. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, they can magically or supernaturally forget about Nikki by the time the 2nd season ends.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I assume she'll be back in the second
Black,
season, but who knows?
I mean, her mother is a substitute teacher, not a permanent teacher at the school, right? So, like, yeah, I figured she'll move away at the end of the school year, and they'll forget about her. Well, just like, you know, we all had friends that we thought were our best friend in 8th grade, and then we went to high school in the 9th grade, and we never spoke to them again.
Well, that was, you know, it was funny because at the end of the season, you know, the end of episode 10, and they didn't move away. I was like, well, that's just stupid and lazy. I'm like, I don't, you know. And then but then, you know, I was really annoyed by it. And then 5 seconds later, I found out that there was a season 2. So I was like, oh, she'll move away at the end of next season.
Sense. You know, as an aside, not that it's important, but I wonder how many people have high schools that are split, like you're saying, because like we had 7th through 12th. We didn't have like a middle high or whatever you want to call it. We had kindergarten through 6th and 7th through 12th, and that was
weird.
It. I don't know if it's like I'm in a small town. I don't know, but yeah, we did not.
I was in a small town, and we had 6th through 8th, and then 9th through 12th.
Okay, well, I don't know. I said I don't know what the reason is. I honestly don't, but we did not have middle school.
Oh, I mean, I went to a 7th through 12th school, Jamie, because it was private school. I've not seen that except for in private school where I live. My town had a middle school was just 7th and 8th grade, and they called it intermediate school, actually.
Interesting. Well, mine was not a private school. In fact, you probably saw the school at some point when you were driving past my house. It was only like
moving on.
All right. So
Hawkins Middle, for the record, is 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Okay. All right. So here is the tabloid, and he's yelling at his writer because she's writing again about the sewer serpent. Sorry. And did the same story again, which is only important because the sewer serpent that's there now is actually the creature we find out later. But yeah, that's the editor, and they need to get him out of the room. So Elle uses her powers to zip that little toy UFO all over the place and gets him to follow it. Again, this whole thing, just hijinks. It was great. And them running around, and then they have to go to a different department to get the picture. But eventually they do get it, and they have Max propping the door open so they can get out. And of course, that doesn't last, right? Of course, it doesn't work in the end, and they almost get caught. But he gets caught by the editor, who's like, why are you taking my phone? And I remember through this whole scene, all I kept thinking was, why didn't he just take the photo out of the binder? And he could have given him the binder back and kept the photo and ran, but it ended up, that's kind of what he did. But I don't know. That's what I kept thinking the whole thing, like, kid, what the hell?
That is not a binder. That is a trapper
keeper.
Trapper keeper.
Trapper keeper.
No, I had a
Trapper keeper love. That's why he has it.
No, I had trapper keepers too.
I did like the little UFO going over the place, which is another reason I liked 11, you know, using her powers for day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, but it was great she used a UFO too. That made it even better,
yeah.
Right? Yeah. She is, like I said, through the walls, I don't know about, but it works.
I didn't mean to do it, but go ahead. It was an accident.
That's okay. As for Nikki, it isn't new for the show not to bring up a character in season 5. Dr. Owens, Enzo, and Argyle are referenced at all, despite being main characters in season prior. I don't remember who those people are.
Exactly. Exactly. You don't remember them, not important.
Because they weren't mentioned again.
Yeah,
they weren't mentioned, you're right.
Nikki either. Next season, she probably won't even be there.
To be fair, it was a long time before season 5, so you're allowed to forget. All right, there she is, flying everything around, and it's enough of a distraction. He can get up in the air duct with Dustin, who there was a thing where he had to like cut through the wire to try to turn the power off, but it didn't work great. A lot of things didn't work great.
Well, they're probably getting a story in the tabloid office with the flickering lights and all that.
Yeah, I know. They made a story, right?
Yeah.
He did get the picture, and they're all like cheering and yay. But there is something lurking in the sewers. And there it is again. Sewer serpent strikes again. And then this is the beginning of episode 1, episode 6. This is
Did
again.
the serpent down below have his own tabloid story on the wall? Is that?
Well, I think before it was a different serpent. Now it's a real thing that's down there.
Oh, okay.
That's why she was rewriting the story, I guess. So the beginning of episode 6 is, like I said at the beginning of the show, this is a flashback into explaining what actually happened that we seen at the beginning, which is this person, which we find out later is Daniel, is experimenting on the tentacles, which is like a horrible idea. I mean, of course,
Yes.
we know this, but you're not sure exactly at first what they're after. But it comes apparent that they're trying not to destroy it, because every time it disintegrates, he scratches it out. So it's like they're trying to get it to live, and why you would do that is beyond me. But so it ends up, it attacks him, but he does get away. He's fine. But yeah, that's how the spores got into Hawkins, because when he fried it there, the spores took off.
Mm-hmm.
I was so tired. I was so tired when I watched this that I thought I had hit episode 1 again. I was like, wait a second, I've already seen this. Did I accidentally hit the right? Then this came up. I was
That's
like,
funny.
Okay. Nope.
Well, that's the problem. I normally don't like to binge stuff, and I just had to watch all this within like the last day. So
yeah, that's what I had to do. Watch it all once.
I did a lot of. I watched a lot of it doing other items, doing other things. So I watched it on my phone mostly.
You didn't watch it with Damon?
Damon didn't see Stranger Things.
Oh, he's not there yet.
No, I mean, Artie and I watched Stranger Things together, but we got to remember when Stranger Things started, Damon was really young.
Yeah, too small.
And we tried it with him a couple years ago, and he wasn't feeling it.
All right. Okay, so you watched it solo.
Yeah. All right. So we do see the teacher experimenting with the plants, and that it's not working. She's trying to bring it back to life. I mean, look, I don't think any of us were surprised that it wasn't her. It was like such an obvious setup of, well, of course it's not her because they're doing that. But
yeah, as soon as they suspected her, it was like, well, it's definitely not her.
It's gotta be her boyfriend.
Never like the first villain that uses, never the first suspect, right?
Right. But yeah, she is using part of what she's doing in her science is trying to bring rotten plants back to life to help with crops and things. That's what
feed to Fatima in Fromville.
Yeah, exactly. That's so funny. So this is where actually I don't remember. I was thinking this was where she was upset. Maybe this is where she was upset. Is this where no, because she already gotten them back as friends at this point, right? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
No, because they don't make up until whatchamacallit.
Okay,
detention.
then this was until detention. Okay, then this was the scene I thought it was. Okay, so she wants to move. Like she is constantly like not wanting her mom to leave, and now she's like, let's leave, because she's fought with her friends. And her mother doesn't quite understand what's happened, and she doesn't share. So there's Dustin getting his hat, and he's all excited. They dump their box out. All that there is garbage, so it's cheerworthy with the garbage. So they think the aliens are dead and that they're finished. And meanwhile, Will has been trying to talk to Nikki, who completely ignores him, and ghosts him, and he's upset. And while he's trying to talk to her, freaking Mike is like, why are you inviting her to Dungeons and Dragons? You didn't ask me, and acting like a complete asswipe for an 80s term there. And trying to control things again. And Will finally stands up for himself, and he's like, no. And he turns off the fire alarm, or turns on the fire alarm, I should say, not turns off. And they get caught and have to serve detention. And then meanwhile, Dustin has a sort of, Dustin said it wasn't a date. I don't know if Dustin actually realized it was a date or not. But
it didn't start out that way. I mean,
I know, but I think she wanted it to be a date. She seemed to like him, I thought, from the beginning, like that. I don't like you, like him, that happens in elementary
when you're 12. Yeah.
Yeah. that they're mortal enemies and they really like each other and tease each other or whatever. But he ends up.
He's going to get his barf vest, right?
Yeah, that's right. He gave her the vest, and his mom wanted him to get it back. Although I swear the jacket looked exactly like the one he's wearing. I was like, wasn't it the same color? Couldn't remember.
He has a whole closet full.
Yeah, I know.
I think the one he gave her was green, wasn't it?
I don't know. I thought.
Yeah, and he gave her explicit instructions how to launder it. Remember, he's like,
yeah.
That was funny. It's like, take care of my vest or my thing. So anyway, he supposedly is going over her house to get it back, but he's using it as an opportunity to ask her about what she remembers. And she, like Charlie, remembers a red light, but not much else. And they have a conversation about She-Ra, which of course was from back then, which I think they're remaking actually. So
Again?
yeah. Or well, maybe they did. I just remember they were remaking it. I didn't say I watched it, that I know if it came out yet. It might have. I remember when I was a kid, though, I watched it. I had a little She-Ra action figure, and I don't know why, but I used her with my Barbie pony. That's what I remember, is putting her on the. You remember like weird pieces of information, right? Or weird memories.
I gotta say, I was a little surprised. I mean, unless their goal was to show that, because Dustin's a boy, he only paid attention to He-Man and didn't know much about She-Ra. But Dustin's such a nerd. I'm surprised he didn't know Hordak and Horde Prime, and she had to tell him.
Yeah, that was funny. And that's where he gets the idea of this.
You had to tell me, because I had never heard of any of that.
You didn't watch She-Ra?
Either.
No, I'm a little older. I went to college in '86. I'm a little older.
All right, fair enough.
Guys.
Yeah. Now I don't remember the villains. I just remember She-Ra, and I remember the little figure I had. So yeah, he gets this idea that there's one big monster that's like controlling all of them, the Queen, and he does later tell them. But first, here they are in detention, pissed at Will because he caused it. Except for Charlie in the back. I guess he got detention on his own merit. But the three of them got
because he's a dirtbag.
Yeah. Also, did the teacher, I didn't go back, but I think the teacher said something like an hour. I swear he said like an hour, and I'm thinking, since when was the detention like only an hour? I don't know about that. Not a very bad detention if it was. And then meanwhile, Max and Lucas here find this kid that lost his ball in the sewer, and they're going to go after it and help him. And we know that's a bad idea.
Hey, Georgie, they float down here.
Yeah. Oh, I've not seen the new series yet. I don't intend to. Did you watch a new series? You don't like to watch.
No, I had no interest in it.
All right, I thought you might not. All right, so they find the ball, but they also find a bunch of demo plants. And these are those sort of, I don't know what you want to call them. They protect the Queen, you find later, but they...
like drones?
I guess, yeah, like drones.
Drones, yeah.
Demo guards, yeah.
Like it. And then they cut it in half at the door. That's how they stop it, and they do get out. And then this is about Mike. Sorry, I get those two confused. I don't know why. Mike wants to call 11 on the radio because he was supposed to be there, and he's in detention instead, so he's pissed off. And because Nikki likes 11, she says she'll help him go get the radio by distracting the teacher so that he can call 11 and say what's going on. And they all agree that this is what they're going to do, and that Charlie will play lookout. Oh, and down in the sewer, this other guy, the other bully, was spit out, who also remembers not much of the lot. And the coach...
You're right, it is Jeff.
It's Jeff.
Yeah. And again, I'm not sure what happened to the coach. I can't remember if it spit him out or not either.
I don't know why somebody's just drinking a thermos out in the middle of a snowstorm.
Right.
It's hot chocolate, right?
Michigan, and when there's a snowstorm, we're like, oh, let me have a drink out here. I'm going to go inside.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be like a historic level snowstorm, right? Like
maybe he went outside to have a smoke because he had to have a smoke. That I would believe.
Oh, that's true.
Back then.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, so he is being attacked by the demo. And then this is where Nikki basically yells at Mike and says, "You're bullying your best friend. And I only ignored him because I knew you didn't want me there. And it was basically saying it's causing tension between them." And she stayed out of it. And he does apologize, but she also tells him he needs to quit treating Will like that he's brave, quit, babying him and thinking he can't do anything. And he listens to her, thankfully, since he was kind of doing it to everybody. And then the demo gets into the school. It's the coach, like I said. And so there's a long sequence of them running away from it and hiding, where they use Nikki makes stuff in the lab to use to throw at it using the chemicals and stuff, which was pretty cool.
This is also a good Stranger Things callback, like being inside the school, right? Is kind of classic Stranger Things also.
Yes. But they need to fight it off. And they do also find out that it is following Charlie. It wants Charlie back because it can smell him. And, this is where I think they started, at least I didn't notice it before then. I wasn't watching it close enough before to see it. But they started dropping the clues that he wasn't actually, it wasn't actually after Charlie, but it was after the goo. The green goo that was on the headphones. This is where they started that.
I mean, I had noticed it.
I had noticed it much earlier too, and I had a feeling that's what it was.
Oh, it was on. Was it? I'm trying to think. Was it when it was on the backpack? I think I did see it on the backpack. It was
on the backpack earlier. Yeah,
I did see it on the backpack. Yeah, I did see that then. Yeah, they are dropping it, so you notice, but you're supposed to think it's Charlie. It's enter the storm. The storm is coming. Dun, dun, dun. So Elle is upset that Mike isn't there, and she immediately decides she's going to use her psychic powers, which we had to have this kind of scene, right? I mean, we needed it. She didn't go in the tank or anything, but she used her blindfold to contact him, and she sees him hiding out in the school. So she knows he's in trouble, and she decides to go after him to save him. And she ends up doing a snow surfing on the license plate or whatever in order to get there. And then Lucas and Max are trying to tell everybody there's code red, but the radio won't work where they're at because of the snowstorm. So they're like, we'll go up higher, which, it wasn't a bad plan. Maybe in a snowstorm it was a bad plan, but we're going to go up in the tower. And then Dustin, who's trying to get home on the bike, he sees the teacher and he stops him and gets him to give him a ride. Not the teacher, I'm sorry. Sees Daniel.
You know what I thought was really funny. Starting with this scene and continuing to them going to the store. If a teacher did that in this day and age, they'd be in jail 5 minutes later.
He's not a teacher, but yeah, they would be. You're right.
Or that's right. He's not a teacher,
right.
But I'm just saying, you could, it's really sad, that
it is. Things are different now.
That people just automatically assume the worst of people in this day and age.
Yeah, if you're a male teacher or a male, I don't know, somebody that's in authority, you don't hang out with a younger male.
Actually, I feel like a lot of female teachers have been arrested for inappropriate.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
But it's more of a thing, I think, when a male teacher does it, whether it's with a young male or a young female. But you more, I think, would hear about it if it was a male teacher. But not that you're right. Not that women don't do that. Okay. So, there is the demo that's in the school, and there is the green goo that it's really after. And they have made it to the store. I thought he was taking it to the house. I don't know, but they stopped at the store because the storm was so bad, I guess.
Yeah, and they had to find shelter. They can't go any farther, I think.
Yeah, and that's why it was good that Dustin let him get him a ride. He would have been blown away in the bike, right? I don't know.
I would have liked to see that, actually.
That might have been funny. But anyway, he thinks Dustin's going to be all worried and upset because he's there, and he's so excited because there's food. And there was like a scene previous where he wasn't paying him back for food, so he was happy to get his free stuff. There's Charlie being face sucked. I don't know, for lack of a better description. They do rescue him, but he's in like a trance and doesn't answer them. And this is where they decide we'll use him for bait, which it wasn't a bad plan using him for bait, but I'm sure he wouldn't have appreciated it.
Well, it would have been a great plan. It would have been a great plan if it was Charlie that the demo plant was after.
Yeah, I know, right? It wasn't actually Charlie. And then that is mixed up with these scenes of him and Daniel, where Daniel and this is where they really laid it on that if you didn't figure it out by this point, that he was a scientist. He worked in the lab. What's the name of the lab?
Hawkins
lab.
I said, wasn't just Hawkins' lab. Okay. He had worked in Hawkins' lab before it was shut down. He supposedly wasn't high up, that he didn't know anything, but he was fired when the lab shut down. And he was going to be a teacher and all this and never followed through on anything because of that had happened. And Dustin is talks to him about it and is, feels bad for him a little bit there, or at least tries to act like it is. And then this is where Nikki uses science to make things to attack the demo. I don't want to say she makes bombs. She doesn't exactly make bombs. I mean, she kind of makes bombs, right? Like little things to throw at it that'll catch it on fire because it's flammable. And so that is how they end up temporarily getting away from it.
There's a scene somewhere in this season where I don't think it's Nikki. I think it might be Dustin who says, and I don't know if you noticed it. I feel like Scarlet probably noticed it, where he says, "We're gonna have to science the hell out of this," which is from The Martian, right? Except he says in The Martian, he says, "I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this."
Yeah.
I assume that's what it was from, right? I mean, which is funny because that's not an 80s reference at all. Like that movie came out, well into this.
I've heard a few lines of dialogue in here are definitely modern lines of dialogue.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, even the book came out, and I just Googled it, but like the book came out even in this century. It's not anything like the book came out in 2011, right?
I was going to say, you do realize that 1985 was in this century. Or, well, no, it wasn't in this century. I take that back. I said I took it back. After I said it, I realized it was. I realize that now.
Yeah, but it might not have been the first time somebody said, I need to science the shit out of this.
Maybe that guy who wrote the book ripped it off from kids in the 80s.
Maybe. All right. So,
it's like gagging with a spoon.
So on the way up to the tower, Max almost falls off, but of course Lucas saves her and pulls her back. And then we have they covered it with goop and they light it up. And this is how they get away. They did go back and save that kid though. I like when Mike was like, "Do we really?" When she said they had to go back and get Charlie. He's like, "Yeah, but do we really?" And there they are sharing gloves because she lost her glove.
I mean, that was kind of a decent scene. So we know that nothing bad can befall these kids because we know what the future is. But even in like throughout the live action series, I never expected anything really bad to happen to these kids, except maybe for Max going into a coma. But it was still a little dramatic, like, right, that she could fall. It was still, it was still pretty good, and I was able to accept it as a perilous moment and not be like, "Oh, nothing will happen here."
Yeah. So they've all got code reds. They find out that because they think that they were coming from one direction or whatever, and they were coming from the other direction. So they know there's more of them, and they're heading towards Dustin. And then Elle there comes out. She had came to get Mike.
Yeah, I like it. Elle, can you hear me? Like, I think she can hear you.
Yeah. And then Dustin, who's living the life there with all the free food, sees that they're there and it's dangerous. But Max and Lucas and all them, they come with the snowplow to kill it when it goes to attack. Or no, I'm sorry, it gets in. I forgot it got in. He hides, but that's what they bring there to try to get it. And there it takes the bag with the goop.
It takes the bag because the green goo is on the backpack.
Right. And that is, I think that was Mrs. Baxter's backpack, right? Because he said she kept taking the wrong backpack. It was either his or hers, but I assumed it was hers because of the fact they said that. Elle uses her powers again, rips them apart, and she doesn't rip them apart. She throws a tree through it that rips them apart.
Oh yeah, she nails it on a tree.
Yeah,
that was cool. That was kind of a cool.
It was, and they're able to act like the storm did it, right? And get maybe
yeah.
Okay, so chapter 8, the party. This is the one that's about her birthday.
Oh yeah, I like this one too.
Yeah, I like this one.
So Nikki shows them all her knickknacks.
Nikki's knickknacks.
Yeah, I love this picture where he's got his weapon of choice. They all get like a weapon that they're going to use there. And they're all excited. And then her mother comes in and gives her a present because it's her birthday. Did she ever even open it? Not that it matters, but I was just thinking. I don't think she ever even opened it. Continuity.
I don't remember.
Anyway, I don't know.
She never opened it. We didn't see her open it. It was really cute. Like Mrs. Baxter clearly like did it on purpose, right? So the kids would find out, right?
Yeah, because she
didn't even know they were there.
Oh, I think she knew.
I thought she knew.
No, when she came in, she was like, "Oh," because the last time they had last conversation they had, she wanted to move. She didn't have. She had a fight with her friends. This is when she finds out they made up.
Right, but I kind of
she knew. I think she was like, I think she was like,
excuse.
Oh, I think she knew.
Yeah, I thought so too. What do you think, Scarlet? Break the tie.
Oh, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Do you think the mother actually knew that the kids were there and she brought the birthday gift in on purpose so they know it was her birthday?
Yeah, probably because she wants her to make new friends and fit in.
Okay. See, AJ, we win.
Sorry, I thought we
just listen. Just because, all right. First of all, Scarlet didn't know what we were talking about, but just because, but I
didn't know you were still talking about it because
just because that's how you guys took it.
We were talking about.
That doesn't mean that her mother, when she walked in, was like, "Oh, your friends are here."
Well, I thought it was a fake. No. I thought it was a fake.
I could have just guessed yes or no.
Yeah, you could have.
Oh, your friends are here. Whatever.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I thought it was because she hasn't had any birthdays with friends, birthday parties. So they end up going out and hunting down the aliens in the sewers. They find vines there. They're part of it. And there's this huge hole that they have to somehow get across. And lo and behold, one of Nikki's things she's made is a grapple, which is somehow strong enough to hold all of them. But
that's a great line because Lucas is like, "Sorry, I didn't bring my grappling hook today," and Nikki goes, "I did."
Yeah, attaches it to the ceiling and pulls them over. And of course, they almost don't make it, but they do all make it. And this is where she sees the electrics panel and says that they have to be careful with it. But they end up, she shoots it with the gun to make a spark. And they realize that the bright light incapacitates it. Actually, the bright light, I think, killed those ones.
You know what I loved most about that scene, though? They all make it, and then the ledge breaks, and they end up falling down anyway.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. I wasn't sure at first what they were going to do though when there was it was breaking. I didn't know if Elle was going to like float Mike across or what was going to happen, but
no, I knew that when I saw it cracking, I was like, oh, they're gonna do Star Wars, where like Princess Leia and Luke go together to swing across the chasm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I kind of saw that coming.
Yeah.
Just think about how much more effective all their plans would have been if Nikki would have stuck around.
Oh my God, they would have been done in season 4.
Yeah. Yeah. They would have been.
Okay, so they are having a birthday party for them. Basically, they give them Twinkies with sparklers, and she tells Elle to celebrate her birthday with her because Elle had told her previously, like that being in the lab, she didn't even know what her birthday was or know that she had one. So even though she now has picked a birthday or knows when her birthday is, whichever, she said that she's
from her
missing.
aunt.
Sorry, what?
She found out her birthday from her aunt.
Okay. But either way, she says she's missed a lot of birthdays, so to make up for him. So yeah,
So-
There's a Twinkie.
I can't believe that. Okay, it's only a cartoon, but we had kind of a big fight this week about what is a neglectful parent. All the parents in Hawkins are totally neglectful, and Mrs. Baxter is the worst. She makes the kid move. The kid has no friends ever because of her mother.
Yeah, that is true. But now she has friends, and yeah, that's why it's cute. But I mean, yeah, she technically has to move or something since she's not in season 4 or 5.
Yeah.
3.
Unfortunately.
I should have said that in the From Talk when everyone was talking about Tabitha being a neglectful parent. I just said, like, oh, you want to see a neglectful parent? Talk to anybody from Generation X.
All right. So Dustin goes to use the bathroom and he hears their argument, which is about him losing all the money because of the storm that destroyed his
store.
And I did feel bad at this point because I'm like, they destroyed it. I hope he did have insurance because that really sucked, but he was bad, so it didn't matter. But they make it sound like the girlfriend, the teacher, isn't bad. Because when he looks out the window, he sees the view that I forget which one of them had drawn, but I think
Rosario drew it, but the other guy saw it all, described it also.
Yeah. So he thinks that she is the queen and goes and tells everybody. And at first they leave out Nikki because they, it's her mother. But eventually she gets them to tell her, and believes it could be.
I love her. She's like, no way. There's no way it's my mom, but maybe it is.
Yeah. And this is where she's trying to figure out why her mom all of a sudden wants to leave. And it's kind of like, evidence that maybe it's her. Here's where she figures it out, or thinks it could be. So they go in the car. She takes a drive with them with Elle and Mike, and kind of questions about them leaving.
They're distracting her. They're meant to distract her, right? And isn't this when Nikki says, "Oh, we're moving. Can we just go to the hardware store first? Oh, can Mike and Elle come?" And it's preposterous, whatever. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. This is weird.
Yeah, Miss Baxter's like, whatever, let's just go.
Well, she's probably like, she has friends. I don't want to take them away from her the last few days.
It's to get her out of the house so the other kids can search the house.
Exactly.
Yes. And they sneak in and trip the alarm because they aren't very good at what they're doing.
Well, they trip the alarm because they don't know there is one.
Yeah, well, it's kind of right there. So I'm just saying.
I understand that, but Nikki didn't tell them about it. She just told them where the key was.
And they were far less common in homes in the 80s than they are now.
Yeah. That's also true. All right. So they get in there. Dustin gets up inside the greenhouse. He thinks the greenhouse is like where there's secret shit. And then meanwhile, the demos are
it does look like an evil greenhouse, doesn't it?
It does. It's like humongous. Yeah. All right. So they find videos of the experiment in the lab, which we saw at the beginning of the episode and in the middle of the show when Daniel was running the experiment on the tentacle. And then they're in the greenhouse, and Dustin is right about there being a secret entrance to the lab. He just had the wrong light. But they do
breaks the first one. Then Will just walks over and he's like, "Huh, that's crooked."
50%. I told you 50%, right? And there is a Queen demo thing down there that is behind the glass. And meanwhile, out on the road, the other group is getting attacked by them. and they finally figure out that it's after the goo, because the other ones tell them on the radio. So they start throwing the earphones back and forth as Elle uses her powers to kill the demos, or to get them to go away. I don't know if she kills them or not.
Well, she killed the first one. Mom took out the second one.
Oh, that's right. She hit her with the car. Hit it with the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is where we realize it's not the mother, and Daniel comes downstairs, which I think we all knew. But look, to be fair, he wasn't trying. I mean, I don't know that he cared, but he wasn't trying to hurt people. He was just like interested in the science. He wasn't like some evil asshole. He didn't know.
He didn't know any of this was happening. The problem is once he did know, he didn't help the situation.
Yeah, exactly. He clearly didn't care. He cared more about his science, because he saves his stuff over Will, that one, like when they're down there, which ended up helping Will. But there, 11 is taken down into the sewer by the one. So no, she didn't kill I forgot she got taken back down in there. So the mother kills one of them, and the other one takes her down into the sewer. And that's where he's like, "Oh, it's fine. It's behind glass. It's this good experiment." And they do say, though, he did steal his girlfriend's stuff in order to do it, her work. And he does admit that. But yeah, he wasn't trying to hurt anybody.
He does seem to have not really know that his experiment is related, has caused all this.
He had no idea.
Yeah.
But the floor breaks away because they've been existing under there this whole time. He does save Dustin. And then we are in the last episode.
Countdown. It's the final countdown.
I was just going to do that, Karen.
Final countdown. Doo-doo. All right. What, Scarlet?
I said it was the final countdown. Was that in the 80s?
You know that song? You know that song?
No. In what year did it come out? That's what I'm saying.
No, it was 80s.
I'm going to say it right now. The final countdown.
I thought it was released, but I wasn't
sure. It was
sure.
definitely
I know it's Europe that did it. I just didn't.
Europe. It came out in, here are the lyrics, the artist, the final countdown. 1986, released in 1986.
Well, they can use it for the next season then.
There you go.
Tales of 86.
Yep.
I don't want to do that. I clicked something weird there. Hey, Doc. Welcome.
Hey, Doc.
Welcome
All
back.
Right. Yes, welcome back. Yes. Okay, so they are looking for the other kids. He does seem to want to help. But then when he sees Will trapped under a rock and he sees his goop, he goes after the goop. And I'm like, you knew he was going to die. Then, yeah. He grabs the stuff and runs off with it. And of course it breaks all over him. So he ends up getting killed. But
big mistake.
Yeah, big mistake, right. She shoots the light beam at the thing and injures it. I guess she knocks a part of it off. I was a little confused because I saw part of it disintegrate, but it was still there. So it must have like knocked off a tentacle or something. But they are still battling it. And no, it's not yet where it finds. There's where it finds Daniel. There is the queen with all the eyeballs, and yeah, it's huge. But it eats him, and
he's covered with the glowy stuff, unfortunately for him.
He broke it, right. Elle's using her power. There's where it gets the goo and it gets its strength, and it's like, and it looks a lot more like a Demogorgon there, the way they did that, except for the head, like the eyeballs. So it is tearing a hole in a gate, I should say, in the universe in order to go through. And so they decide that they will stop at nothing to make sure that it can't do that, so that other creatures can't come in, and so it can't come attack them again. So they are going to kill it by any means necessary.
And there's some indication that if it gets the upside down, it'll grow bigger, continue to grow and sprout, like, right? It will like that threat will continue to.
And L thinks that if it can, if it can just open a gate at will when it gets into the upside down, it can just keep opening them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More problem.
Right.
So I don't know that there's really a whole lot to describe. She does end up using
fighting.
her light again. And when the creature's on the way in, Elle floats and then shuts the gate on it, and I think it cuts its head off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It cuts its torso off far enough down that somebody can actually get out without also having their torso cut.
I mean, it's cute that Nikki and her mom are like working together, right, on this device to like keep loading. Like every shot uses a battery, right? And so the mom is reloading. She's like, "Mom, reload!" It's cute that they,
it uses a motorcycle battery.
Mother and daughter have overcome their conflict.
They have, and Elle is also gotten along, made up, not that they're really fighting, but made up with Hopper, and he decides that she can have a later curfew because he's not home a lot, and he knows she's safe he thinks she's safe with Mike, and so she's all happy with that. And then we find out that they got another house and have moved away from the boyfriend now, and apparently somehow found
the dead boyfriend.
The dead boyfriend. I wonder if they inherited his stuff or something, because there was a whole conversation earlier where she said that Nikki knew she didn't have the money for them to have a place on their own, and somehow she got one. So,
maybe she's like the Black Widow then.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
she moves from town to town.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe.
That explains why they never talk about Nikki anymore. They're like, "Oh yeah, her mom is a serial killer. We don't talk about them anymore."
She goes from town to town and finds an evil scientist, a mad scientist that waits for him to die.
Yeah, there's probably one in every town.
Yeah,
there might be in this show. Okay, so they are going to play D&D. They have included her, and they even made her a little figure that's partially out of Lego, although it looks all out of Lego, but they said partially out of Lego. Because they all have their own figures. So she feels like she belongs and is now part of the group and getting to play Dungeons and Dragons with them. And then see the Upside Down, the greenhouse in the Upside Down. And I don't think it actually moved, but I'm assuming it was insinuating that
the plant.
Oh, that's right. This plant sprouted out and made new spores. That's right. Or will make new spores. It didn't actually show the spores. So yeah, it is, because that was the whole thing from the beginning, as they were saying, is that they didn't die because they evolved and gave off the spores, and that was what let it keep living. So its kind will continue on. So there we go. So any other thoughts? I think we did pretty good time-wise for doing 10 episodes.
Yeah,
I think that was good. Yeah. But is there anything else anybody wants to add? It wasn't like a super deep show, but I did like it. It was pretty good.
It's like I said before, it wasn't bad. I just wouldn't have missed it if it was never a thing.
Yeah. And I would never watch it again.
I won't watch it.
I won't watch it again, but it did sort of recapture a little bit of the spirit of what we liked about the first 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was made so fast, though. I wonder if they took away from making season 5 to make this, or did they?
Well, I mean, it's the same
probably a completely different team.
Oh, that's true. Different voice.
Team of people.
Yeah.
I think it's different showrunner, different writers, right?
Well, one of the Duffer brothers, I think, is still a producer or something.
Well,
but
they're EPs. They don't have to like concern themselves with it, right?
No, they don't necessarily have to be involved. But yeah, overall, I think it was good. I liked the animation style too, even if it wasn't from the 80s. I agree, it being an 80s style would have been better, but I liked the sort of 3D-esque style.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a couple people in the chat who say they haven't like watched it yet, but they just dropped in, and I think. I mean, I don't want to speak for the 3 of you guys, but I'm going to. I think we would all be, sure, watch it if you have nothing to do over a day or two and you want to binge through it, or not, and you won't miss anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if we didn't talk about covering it, I probably would never have watched it.
Well, you were very you were kind of over Stranger Things by season.
Yeah, by the time season 5 finally came around, I was like, eh.
I mean, I think you wouldn't have watched season 5 if we didn't.
No, I would have watched season. No, I would have watched season 5 because Artie couldn't wait to watch it.
Okay.
So I would have. I still would have watched it. It's just I just didn't care anymore. You know, kind of like Winds of Winter.
Yeah, if it ever comes out. Yeah. So
yeah, it's the thing. If Winds of Winter were to come out tomorrow, I wouldn't even bother reading it. I don't even care. It's been so long.
yeah.
Way too long for season 5. That's for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys, if you want to watch it, it's fine. If you don't want to watch it, that also is fine.
Yep.
If you watch it, then you can rewatch our live stream here, and things will make sense.
Yes.
True. All right. Well, if we don't have anything else to add about it, thank you everybody for coming. Make sure you join us on Sunday for our from Deep Dive at 10:30. Our watch parties at 9 on Sunday, and we have the review at 10 on Monday. We also, of course, have a watch party at midnight on Saturday night, and that's all for From. And I'm going to put a link in the chat. We are not doing the Daredevil show this week because I'm not going to be home.
Oh,
yeah, that's why I said I didn't know for sure, but
yeah.
I'm not going to be here. So we'll double up next week, but we won't be able to have the watch party either because I won't be here to do it. So
Yay, I have a night off. I have a night off from lives. Yay!
But we'll be back after that. But yeah, we'll double up next week. But everybody, please make sure you like the video, subscribe, check out our interviews with Nathan Simmons and Samantha Brown from and drop a hype if you can. It's really appreciated. It really helps small content creators. And until then, we'll see you, I guess, Sunday.
All right.
Okay.
Monday it is.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah, we'll see you guys
Bye.
Sunday. Good night.
Night.
Listen to X-ray specs.